A majority of Canadian real estate markets have been on the decline through the last half of 2024. However, Red Deer Alberta has been an outlier and we've continued to see price increases through 2024, but will that continue into 2025? What's up everybody, my name is Kyle Dillman. I'm a realtor here in Red Deer, Alberta. In this video, we're gonna look at what is happening in the real estate market in Red Deer, Alberta. I'll touch a little bit on the surrounding area. We're gonna kind of review what happened in 2024, and I'm gonna give you my predictions through heading into 2025. So what happened in 2024? Well, for the most part, Red Deer was in a pretty competitive seller's market. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of context, when we're determining what is a seller's market versus a buyer's market, we usually look at a statistic called months of inventory. So anything below 2.5 months of inventory would be considered a seller's market. Anything above 3 months would be considered a buyer's market. And that 2.5 to 3 months would be considered a more balanced market. Now, if we look at the graph that I have on the screen, we look at the months of inventory through the entire year of 2024. And I know December is not on here. December is sitting at 1.69 months of inventory, but you can see that pretty much every month has been below 2 months of inventory, which is an extreme seller's market. In January, it crept up to 3 months, which is kind of typical for this year. There's not a lot going on in the real estate market. It's cold. It's right after Christmas. Not many people are looking to buy homes at this point. And then it crept up to just under 2.5 months in the month of October. So you can see that it's been a pretty tight competitive market, a seller's market throughout the entire year of 2024, which is why we have seen a lot of appreciation in our home prices. So if we're talking about the median price for detached homes coming out of 2023, the median price for a detached home was $380,000. At the time of making this video, which is about halfway through December, we're not going to see a lot of changes in the real estate market in a couple of weeks. The median detached price is right around $425,000. So that's just about a 12% increase through the year of 2024. Now, what is driving the market here when so many other Canadian markets are on the decline, and even some markets within Alberta who've been super popular, they are also on the decline through the last half of 2024. Now, interest rates have been falling, so that is increasing some buyers in the market. However, it hasn't increased them as much as you think it would, because they know, or I think they would know, that there is some more rate cuts coming right around the corner. And by next summer, interest rates are supposed to be super low. Some are predicting as low as 2.5%. But so far in 2024, we've seen 3 rate drops, I believe. The last one was in October. It brought the rates down from 5% to 3.75%. And then in December, by the time this video comes out, there's going to be another rate cut on December 11th. They're predicting at least 25 basis points and potentially another 50 basis points, which is really going to drop that interest rate. That is low.
Are you sure this is the right time to buy a house?
So buyers have known this and they've been waiting for these rate cuts to come about. So I do think that we might start to see a little bit busier of a winter because of this next rate cut coming in December. But I also think that by next spring, it's going to be super nutty because those interest rates are going to be even lower. So interest rates are driving a lot of activity. Alberta's been the most moved to province in the country over the last few years. From July 1st, 2023 to July 1st, 2024, Alberta gained over 200,000 residents. A lot of this is coming from international migration, but there's also been a ton of people moving from British Columbia and Ontario. There's been a lot of interprovincial migration. So for 8 straight consecutive quarters, Alberta has seen the most interprovincial migration in the country, and its population has increased. I told you 204,000 people. That is the biggest since 1981. So there is a lot of stuff happening here in Alberta right now.
This place is crowded enough already.
No, it's just people love this stuff.
And not only are we seeing people come from other provinces as well as from out of the country, now, when people are looking at Alberta, they mainly think of the 2 bigger centers like Edmonton and Calgary. Calgary's real estate prices have gone way up over the last few years. So lots of people are starting to get priced out of the market in the Calgary area. So a lot of people are starting to set their focus on Central Alberta and the Red Deer area. Just to kind of give you a little bit more context, the price of a detached home in Red Deer, Alberta is $425,000. The median price of a detached home in Calgary right now is $715,000. And to give you a little bit more context, the median price of a townhouse in Calgary is $437,000. So that detached price in Red Deer is actually lower than the median price for a townhouse in Calgary, which means a lot of people are finding Calgary more and more unaffordable. So again, they're starting to look to Red Deer in the area for more affordable living. And as a reminder, I am a licensed realtor in the area. If you would like any help making the move here, I would love the opportunity to chat with you and earn your business. Use this info popping up, get a hold of me any way would love to hear from you. Now let's kind of take a look at some of the neighborhoods that have appreciated the most in value through 2024. I'm going to give you the top 5. And number 1 is surprising to a lot of people. So in 5th place, we have the neighborhood of Lancaster. This is in the southeast corner of Red Deer. This is a super popular neighborhood. This is where I own my first home. I love living in this area. The southeast section of Red Deer is just super popular. This is a fantastic neighborhood for families because it has 4 different schools as well as the Colquitt Center. But Lancaster's median detached price has increased 12.5% through 2024. Now let's move on to the next neighborhood on the list. In the 4th spot, let's talk about the neighborhood of West Park. Now this is a unique neighborhood. It's across town in the southwest section of the city. And this neighborhood, and I think one of the reasons why it has been so popular, is that it is right across from the Red Deer College. They call it Red Deer Polytechnique, which means this is a super popular area for those looking to buy a house. You know, parents may be buying a home for their children and their roommates who are in college, and investors looking to capitalize on the high investment potential or the high renter potential in this neighborhood. And the southwest section of the city really is a popular area as well. Again, you're super close to Red Deer College. You have access to the G.W. Harris Canada Game Center, Heritage Ranch, the River Valley is super close, Cronquist Business Park. So this is a really popular area of the city, but West Park has appreciated 15.5% through 2024. Now let's head across town to the far east side of the city and take a look at the neighborhood of Deer Park. It's on the very eastern border, so it's very quiet and secluded out there. You got a pretty wide range of homes kind of going from 1980s, 90s to the early 2000s. Mainly built in the 80s and 90s, so you do get the bigger lots and some mature trees in this area, which is really nice. But Deer Park has appreciated 15.7% in the detached market through 2024. Now, directly north of Deer Park, we have the neighborhood of Rosedale, which is in 2nd place when it comes to appreciation through 2024. Rosedale is a very, very similar neighborhood, built in the same time frame. A little bit of an older demographic up there, a very popular place for retirees. But Rosedale has appreciated almost 19%, 18.96% through the year of 2024. That is a massive amount of appreciation. Now, let's talk about the number 1 neighborhood when it comes to appreciation and value through 2024. This one surprises so many people, because when you talk to most people who live in Red Deer, they will tell you that the south end is generally considered to be more desirable than the north end. However, the neighborhood that has appreciated the most in 2024 is the neighborhood of Kentwood, which is on the very northern border of the city. You can't go any farther north. So Kentwood, kind of similar to Deer Park and Rosedale. A lot of the homes built in the 90s and early 2000s. Again, this is the farthest north that you can go while being in the city of Red Deer. But Kentwood has appreciated almost 19.5% through the year of 2024. Super surprising for this northern neighborhood. And I do think that this neighborhood and the neighborhoods that surround it, like Johnstone and other northern neighborhoods, are going to appreciate even more in value as they begin some important developments on the north end of the city. So just to quickly touch on it, well, I've talked about this in many other videos. The North of 11A project is a big project taking place in Red Deer. Basically, just about all of the land between Black Falls and Red Deer has been annexed by the city, and there's going to be some major developments taking place in there. The first development, Hazat Lake, starts next year, the breaking ground in 2025. And then what a lot of people don't really know about is across the highway in the Queens Business Park, there is a lot of land earmarked for commercial development there. So you're going to see a lot of not only residential developments, but you're also going to see a lot of industrial and commercial, which is really going to make this area even more popular. The north end doesn't get a lot of love. It hasn't for a long time. So I think you're really going to see these values continue to go up in Kentwood, Johnstone, and all these northern neighborhoods. Now, just to kind of quickly touch on what's happening in the towns and cities that surround Red Deer, we'll look at the median detached price and how much they've appreciated. Starting off in Sylvan Lake, I'm going to reference my notes for this one because I can't remember them all. Coming out of 2023, Sylvan Lake was sitting at $400,000. It's currently sitting at $436,000. So you're seeing that price go up in Sylvan quite a bit. Sylvan is a very popular area. It's a beautiful lake town right here in central Alberta, and lots of people, especially coming from Ontario, they have their sights set on Sylvan Lake. Let's take a look at Blackfalds. So coming out of 2023, the median detached price was $370,000. Now, Blackfalds is one of the fastest growing communities here in central Alberta. And for a while, it was the fastest growing municipality in Canada, the second fastest growing municipality in all of Canada. But now in 2024, the current price is sitting at $419,000. Now let's take a look at Lacombe. This is a beautiful small city about 25 minutes north of Red Deer, roughly 50 kilometers. I am a big fan of Lacombe. It's got a lot of character, a lot of history in its downtown. It's got lots of beautiful walking trails and water throughout the entire city. But coming out of 2023, Lacombe was sitting at $349,000. And now in 2024, at the time of making this video, it's sitting at $410,000. Now, touching on a couple of the smaller ones that maybe aren't as popular as the big three, let's take a look at Penhold. Now, Penhold, I think, is a sleeper. If you're moving to the Red Deer Alberta, you definitely want to consider all these smaller towns that surround the area. But Penhold is one that not a lot of people know about, but you are super, super close to the city of Red Deer. It's only got about 3,800 people or so, and you can get to Costco and Gasoline Alley and a lot of the best shopping in the city coming from Penhold's quicker than if you actually lived in a neighborhood within the city. That is how close it is. Now, it hasn't seen as much appreciation as the other ones, but coming out of 2023, it was sitting at $385,000. We are now sitting at $391,000. And lastly, let's touch on one called Innisfail. Innisfail is located about 25 minutes directly south of Red Deer. Super quiet feel down there. So if you're really looking for laid back, quiet feel, a great place for retirees, really affordable, Innisfail should definitely be a place that you're considering. So in 2023, the median detached price was $330,000. Now we've seen that price come up to $352,000. Still really, really, really affordable. And out of all the places that are kind of close to Red Deer, this is one of the most affordable.
This affordable housing initiative is going to change things, man.
All right, what are my predictions for 2025? Unfortunately for buyers, I think it's going to be an intense market. It's going to be an extreme seller's market for a number of reasons, and I think prices are going to continue to go up. I know lots of people are thinking that we're on some type of bubble and we're going to crash. However, that is not the case in central Alberta and the Red Deer area. So we've already talked about how interest rates are on the decline. They're continuing to come down. By the time this video comes out, there's going to be another rate cut on December 11th, and then there's probably going to be another rate cut in January. And by next summer, gosh, who knows what the interest rates are going to be. Like I said before, lots of people are predicting 2.5%. So tons of buyers are going to be coming back into the market, and this is going to create a huge supply and demand issue. So we already talked about our supply is super low. We're at 1.69 months of inventory. And to kind of give you a little bit of perspective on that, this is the first time in many years where Red Deer has had a lower amount of inventory than Calgary. So Red Deer's right now sitting at 1.69 months. Calgary is sitting at 2.29 months of inventory. So basic economics, low supply, high demand, prices are going to go up. Now there is a couple things that are being implemented by the government, a couple government policies on December 15th that are also going to increase the amount of buyers coming into the market. First off, they're extending the 25-year amortization period to 30 years for first-time home buyers, as well as the purchasers of new builds. So people are going to be able to qualify for more, and their monthly payment is going to go down. So more buyers coming to the market. Now the second policy that will be coming into place is that they've increased the insured mortgage cap from $1 million up to $1.5 million. So as it stands right now, when you're purchasing a home over $1 million, you have to put down 20%. By increasing this cap to $1.5 million, you now only have to put down 10% on a portion of your mortgage. So this is also potentially going to increase some activity in the higher price ranges. Now, if you look at the graph that I'm showing you on the screen right now, the most active price ranges in the city of Red Deer are from 300 to 400,000 and 400 to 500,000. Now, again, we might see an uptick in activity in some of these higher price ranges with some of the government policies that are coming into place. But as a buyer, if you're writing in that area, it's probably going to be super, super competitive. Just as an example, client and I, we went and looked at a home a couple days ago. It just came on the market that day. There was 12 showings that day and we wrote an offer on it and we were the 6th offer. The home was listed at $320,000. So it's kind of right in that sweet spot. Now, what to expect as a buyer moving forward into 2025? It is going to be super, super competitive. So you really have to take the process serious. So lots of times I know people, they go online and they fill out the little pre-approval that you can do online. That is not going to cut it. You need to sit down with the mortgage broker, submit all of your paperwork and have a full pre-approval in place and be ready to go. Most likely, depending on what price range you're writing in and how well that home shows and how well it's priced, there is a very good chance that you will be going into multiple offer situations. So at that point, we're paying asking price or potentially above asking price. And you really want to set realistic expectations. So if you're thinking they're going to come into this market and you're going to throw a bunch of lowball offers out, you're wasting your time and you're wasting everybody else's time.
It's a fair offer.
That's not fair.
Now, of course, your realtor should be doing their due diligence and making sure that you're not paying an astronomical amount for your house and paying way too much. But the reality is that you're probably going to be paying close to asking price, or if you're multiple offers, it's going to go above that asking price. Now, if you are writing on a home and you have a sale of buyer's home condition in there, there's probably a good chance that your offer is not going to get accepted, especially if you are in multiple offer situations. There's probably zero chance actually if you're in multiple offers that they're going to accept an offer with that type of condition in it. Now, when you do write in a home and you do have that type of condition in there, the seller can still take other offers. There's a clause that gets inserted in the contract and the seller can still take any offers that they think that might be better. So at that point, they accept that offer, you're back to square one, and it can be a little bit of a defeating feeling. So ideally, you want to have an offer on your house already so that we can just kind of bypass that condition and put a regular finance condition in the contract. That way the seller cannot accept another offer and put you back to square one looking for a new home. So as a seller, it's going to be a fantastic time to sell your house. If your home shows well and it priced well, you're probably gonna get asking price or above. So really great time to sell your house. However, keep in mind that once you do sell, you are now becoming a buyer in a really hot market. So if you can negotiate a longer possession on the sale of your home so that you have lots of time to find another home because the inventory is so low. So I'd recommend at least 60 days. And if you're planning on renting, this is kind of a moot point, but if you want to move right from your house into your new house, you're definitely going to want to try and negotiate a little bit longer of possession to give you time to find a home that you love and want to move into. So great time to sell your house. However, remember, we do have low inventory. So unless you get super, super lucky and find a home right in the first couple of viewings, it might take a while to find a home that you actually want to purchase yourself. So give yourself lots of time is what I'm saying. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell so you're notified every week when a new video comes out. And if you would like any help with real estate needs, I'm a licensed realtor in the province. Use this info popping up. I'd love the chance to earn your business. All right, guys, I'll see you next week.